Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. In today's video, I'm going to be answering the question, can a VA rater reach out to your private physician that completed a public DBQ from the VA's website? Also, what other options do they have available and at their disposal if there's any information that needs clarification? In today's video, I'm going to break it down for you and explain so you understand. Make sure you stick around. Okay, everyone, before I get into today's video, make sure you click the link in the description section and get signed up for my upcoming monthly VA membership, okay? It's gonna be a lot of fun. I got a lot of information that I'm gonna be sharing with each and every one of you, and I'm super excited about it, okay? So today's video, can a VA rater reach out to a private examiner that completed a DBQ from the VA's public website, which may need clarification? So the answer to that is yes, but it is not just that easy, okay? And as in many of my other videos, I have slides for you to help me answer this question and clarify it, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. Slide number one. Here in slide number one, this is the M21 manual reference, requesting clarification from private physicians. So what we're talking about, the veteran has went out to their private treating physician to get a DBQ completed. They print it off from the VA's website, take it to the examiner, or the examiner prints it off, whomever, and they complete it. And that DBQ may be missing some information, and it gets to the rater. So what does the rater do? Supposed to do, okay? So this M21 manual states, VA pursuant to 38 U.S.C. 5103, subpart A, subcategory A, has a duty to return for clarification unclear or insufficient private examination reports. It goes on to state, request for clarification could provide relevant information necessary to properly decide a claim that is otherwise not in the record and cannot be obtained in some other way. VA's duty is limited to those instances in which the missing information, okay, so the entire DBQ is not sufficient, it's just missing some information, okay, is relevant, factual, and objective, not a matter of opinion, and bears greatly on probative value of the private medical examination report. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on probative value. I have an upcoming video on that, so I'm not going to spend any time on it, okay? If a private medical examination report reasonably appears to contain information necessary to properly decide a claim, but is unclear or not suitable for rating purposes, insufficient, okay, and the information contained in the report otherwise cannot be obtained, VA has a duty to either. Now, we all know what that word is. They have a duty, but they're talking about duty to assist, okay? Here we go. Ask the private examiner to clarify the report. Request that the claimant obtain the necessary information to clarify the report. Request a VA examination or medical opinion to remedy the lacking elements, okay? Or explain why clarification is not needed. All right. Ask the private examiner to clarify the report. 10 times out of 10, they're not going to pick up the phone and call. Okay, I just don't see them doing it. They're on quotas and they're going through this information really fast, okay? And then if your doctor doesn't pick up, or if they get to the receptionist, oh, he's not available, yada, 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 and they could go back and forth for weeks. But in any instance, if you're dead set on not going to a CMP exam and you say, okay, I'm going to stick with my DBQ, you might want to let your doctor know, hey, I'm submitting this DBQ to the VA. They may have some questions about this DBQ. I'm giving you permission only to discuss any lacking information or clarification from this particular DBQ only. So if they do get a hold of your private doctor, they could ask these questions and there's no holdup, okay? Now at the bottom, it says, note, when examination opinion is requested to remedy a lacking element, not to complete an entire DBQ, but remedy a lacking element, the exam and or opinion may be requested specific to only the lacking element. Now I've did that a few times where it was a box that wasn't checked on the DBQ and I sent it out and I gave special instructions to the VA CMP examiner. I don't need the entire DBQ completed or a CMP exam. I just need this particular information clarified from a medical professional because I wasn't a I wasn't and is still not a medical professional, okay? Move right along, slide number 2. This is 38 CFR 4.2 interpretation of examination reports. Different examiners at different times will not describe the same disability in the same language. I get that. That's self-explanatory, okay? Also, down at the bottom, if a diagnosis is not supported by the findings on the examination report or if the report does not contain sufficient detail, it is incumbent upon the rating board, meaning the rating specialist, to return the report as inadequate for evaluation purposes. Now, they're not going to return it to your private doctor. In the previous slide, I said, okay, here's some options that they're supposed to do. In this instance, they're talking about the VA CMP examiner, okay? They can return it back and say, hey, we need this clarification. For example, you did a back DBQ and you did not state that you use a goniometer or you failed to do repetitive testing for the range of motion, okay? Something like that. That's just a couple of examples. Move right along, slide number 3. Here in slide number 3, this is a court case. I think this is my first time actually sharing a court case. Now, there's a lot of other information in this court case. I did not go through and copy the entire court case, but what's important is you have the name of the court case, Savage versus Shinseki, and it covers what we're talking about today. So I'm gonna go over what I have highlighted in red. The court held that VA pursuant to 38 USC 5103, so Part A, subcategory A, that was in the first slide, has a duty to return for clarification unclear or insufficient private examination reports. In slide number 1, I showed you what the options are, okay? VA must obtain clarification from the private examiner, okay? They can do it if they want to. Don't let them tell you they can't because some of these employees are banking on you not knowing this, all right? Then it says, and bears greatly on probative value, there's 2 words again, probative value of the private medical examination report. The court finding that a request for further information from a private examiner would not be burdensome or unreasonable. So, like I stated earlier, the examiner I gave you earlier, you can ask them, say, hey, don't schedule a CMP exam. If you need any clarification, you have permission to reach out to my examiner. I've already given my examiner permission to answer any questions that may be needed to clarify my DBQ, all right? Something like that. Held that if a private examination report reasonably appears to contain information necessary to properly decide a claim but is unclear or not suitable for rating purposes. What can they do? 1, ask the private examiner to clarify the report. 2, request that the examination obtain the Number 2, request that the claimant obtain the necessary information to clarify the report. 3, explain why clarification is not needed. Okay, that may sound like a lot of information. It is, but keep it super simple. Think about it. If you're submitting your own DBQ, 1, you need to have somebody review it to make sure it is sufficient so you don't fall into this category. But if you decide not to and you just think, oh, I know mine is good, all right, and you submit it, you can use some of those other statements that I gave to ensure that they shouldn't schedule a CMP exam. But you're gonna have to do some things too. You're gonna have to let your doctor know, hey, since you completed this, I'm giving you permission just in case the VA calls you and they need any clarification on this DBQ only. Okay? Now, what could prolong your claim if they can't get a hold of your examiner? Maybe after 1, 2, 3 attempts, they can say, okay, I'm gonna get a CMP exam. They shouldn't be requesting the entire CMP exam because as you saw, only request the information that is lacking, the lacking elements, okay? This is why it's so important for you to become educated. So if you find yourself in this particular predicament, you can fight back, especially on a high-level review. If you're dead set on not going to that CMP exam and they deny it, guess what fact of law you're arguing? I just gave you 3 examples, an M21 manual reference, a 38 CFR, and a court case. Boom, there it is. So you get to a high-level review, you can tell that decision review officer, hey, the rater should have done this. But they kept scheduling a CMP exam, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't an exam for them to obtain lacking information. So decision review officer, please contact my private physician. I've already given him permission to give you or clarify any information that needs clarification on that DBQ, okay? I know it may sound like a lot. Watch this video again or watch it a 3rd time. Take some notes. But the one way that you prevent yourself from even getting to this point, make sure you have somebody to review that DBQ that knows what they're doing before you submit it to the VA. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.